Okay, why don't you tell us about these posters?
Okay. All right. So this
So
is
explain it.
this is Kim Hee Sun. All right. She's a Korean actress, and back in her heyday, she was really popular, and she still is popular. I think she was voted the most beautiful woman in the world or something like that by some pop magazine. Anyway, so Kim Hee Sun. This is a poster advertising makeup, and this is just a poster of her. She looks very nice in both of these posters, but I guess the story behind them was there's a friend I had in SoCal, and she actually introduced me to K-pop because she's Korean, and I went down to visit her one time, and she knew I liked Kim Hee Sun, and so when I went over to her place, she said, "Oh, you have this poster," so she gave me this poster, and after that, I just completely fell in love with Kim Hee Sun, and I asked her for another one, and she mailed me this one right here, which I like. So yeah, I don't pay as much attention to these posters as I used to in undergrad, but they're still here because she's awesome. So that's her. Hopefully I'll get to meet her someday. I doubt it though. But yeah, take a look.
Why don't you pose next to
Dude.
that poster?
Which one? This one?
The big one.
This one?
Yeah.
Which one want me to do?
Well, I mean,
Watch out behind me, that stuff.
let's reenact what happened in the film. Like, what was it like shooting this scene? With how we had to move the camera back and forth between Laura catching you in the act.
Okay, well I'll go through the whole thing and give you my perspective on it, but I thought it was just ridiculous how you you made me kiss a poster because, I mean, even in my obsession over her, even I didn't do that. But it was just weird. It's embarrassing. You don't want to get caught kissing a poster of someone. That shows a tremendous amount of desperation, and I just didn't want to display that. But I guess I guess on the film it looked funny, and I guess when we went back and forth between Laura and me, I was kind of fooling around back here, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but she kind of laughed. She wasn't supposed to, but she kind of laughed because I was fooling around back here. But yeah, and I also remember just getting all the lights here and moving them all over the place. Like we just had like halogen lamps. We were using halogen lamps to try to light this room, and it was just difficult. And the lighting here was ridiculous, as you guys saw in the film. We had like this pulsating light right here, and yeah. But Kim Hee Sun, dude, she was great. She was great.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the baseball. Like, if you where did that come from? You like throwing the baseball up and down in your glove, isn't that something that you do all the time in your normal everyday
Yeah,
life?
well,
Just like, could you explain like how the baseball came about?
how the base. Okay, well, I think that all came about when I was like in junior high, when I first got my glove, and I didn't really know how to break it in, and so what I did, I would just lay down on the floor and just throw the ball in the air and catch it and try to break in my glove that way. And after a while, it started to work, so that's how I broke in my glove. And I was a big A's fan. I still am a big A's fan. I was a big A's fan when I was a kid, and so just to pass time, I would listen to A's games on the radio and just throw the baseball and pretend I was an outfielder and try to catch it and stuff. And it's been there for me, ever since I was a kid, and it was just a habit that I developed. And so now when I just kind of think, when I'm in deep thought, or when I'm either stressing over something, it's also a way for me to relax.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so.
And it just reminds me of my childhood, like just doing it just makes me feel like a kid again. So I guess that's kind of symbolic, that I was playing with the baseball and catching it while looking at Kim Hee Sun, because it's kind of like, I was trying to, it's basically immature in a sense. So,
Of
so yeah.
course. Okay.
Thank you. Hey, stop filming.
How did we come up with that story? And like what inspired
okay.
it?
All right, so I think it pretty much stemmed from just my huge collection of Korean pop and just all the posters I had of Kim Hee-sun and all these pictures I had of her. That goes back to my college days when I was really into her, when she was like really awesome and attractive, and you know, it was just amazing. And that's what really got me into K-pop. And I think the whole story was about how a guy just got so obsessed with these, you know, attractive young Korean women or whatever, these Korean models and whatnot. How I just started to, you know, objectify women like that and idealize them like that, where I would expect them to be like that. And I guess the obsession carried me so far where I just ignored my girlfriend and just concentrated so much.
Who happens to be an attractive Korean girl.
Yeah,
you know,
she happens to be very, very attractive Korean girl. But
yeah.
Yeah. So that was a story that you know, that you put together. And
yeah, it was like my first time doing anything. I was pretty confused. We were using household lights and got it was starring the great Darren Wong and Laura Kyle, whom I met on a movie set as an extra, and she was an extra, so became friends, and she came over and she had, you know, pretty good chemistry with Darren, maybe a little bit too good, you know, so but anyways, I think they were, you know, pretty interesting to watch in the film. Well, Anna was a little unsure about her acting, but then I think like with the rehearsals and the takes that we ended up getting, you know, I thought she was like really good, and you know, she was pretty happy with her performance. So yeah, and the difference between the first version and the second one is just the second one's during the day, and you know, the color is like better. Well, not in the VHS version that you see here, but